Hey guys, it's Greg B. So for our very first Fans First episode, I had a bunch of people actually ask me how do I tape my stick, which I thought was pretty interesting because for face-off guys, how we tape our stick has different strategic reasons. So, at the Face-Off Academy, everything we do is always science-based. Our stance, our technique, all that stuff. That's why we always get a good chuckle when people argue with us. But our stick is no different. So for instance, I used neon green because as face-off guys, everything up here can't match the shaft or the head. So, we usually use neon colors. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. So I have a standard tape butt end donut here that a lot of people like to use. In the MLL, we can have an open end, but in all other levels, you guys have to have this closed. So that's just something you're going to want to know. Then I'm a big fan of rings. I've come a long way with the tape thing. I used to tape all the way up to here, solid, like a lot of guys do. It adds a ton of weight, and besides from that, the grip itself starts to go very early. And what happens is you end up having to cut and pull off pounds of tape between each game. So what I found with the rings is even when the tape itself loses its stickiness, it's always going to be a different texture, because it's always going to be sticking out from the shaft, so it'll always have its grip. So you can use one or two little wraps of tape, and that gives you a ton of grip on here. So what I do is I basically go one ring out from my fist size from the end here. So I got 4 rings spaced out. And then what I always do with my left hand is I match my butt end up to my elbow, and then wherever my pinky ends up at, I put 2 rings there. That's just the standard measurement that we base a lot of our left hand grip on in the FOA. So our face-off guys know that this is generally where you're going to put your index finger when you face off. So when I face off, I've got this grip. I like a groove between 2 pieces of tape. I've come to really like the groove in my index finger right there. So then, moving our way up to the top, once again, 2 or 3 rings, okay? If I have to tape a stick real quick, maybe I'll just go with the looping it all the way up like a lot of people do, but I've really come to love these rings up here. It literally feels like it was made for my fingers to slide in between. And then here's the biggest innovation that I've been using for about 4 to 5 years now. I call this a power nub. Now, it's become a much bigger deal with the new rules emphasizing no hands touching the plastic at all, which is the way it always should have been. But because you're not allowed to use tape touching the plastic, so that they can tell if your hand's sliding up here or not, we're going to go with a neon green donut of tape. Okay, this power nub right here is a thin layer, you're going to basically take the tape, cut it in half, loop it around, and what this is designed to do is 2 things. One, from a legality standpoint, referees love this. So not only is it legal, but like I was saying, from a legality standpoint, refs love the fact that they don't have to worry about your hand hitting the plastic. But here's the beauty of it. Even though it's legal, it actually gives you an enormous advantage. This is why, okay? Right here, this gives you a lot of leverage to push into. So my right hand is going to slide right up to this thing. It's going to push into this nub. And watch, as I don't even have to have my hands closed right here, I can push into it. So I'm pushing up against it, and on that whistle, boom, I can snap up and face off. And obviously, the scepter bends really well for a face-off. So, I love this nub. I've been using it for about 4 years now, 4 to 5 years. And it keeps your hand off the plastic, so officials love it. And it actually gives you an enormous advantage. So that's kind of how I tape my stick right there. You have the rings. I have my butt end donut. I got the 2 rings here, the face-off rings for grip. Shooters as well, okay? If I shoot, my hand's going to slide down to this. And I have the hand rings up top with the power nub. So, this is how I would recommend if you're a face-off athlete who plays the field and doesn't just FOGO. Even if you do just FOGO, you're going to want this nub here. This is going to become a big thing. So I definitely tell you to give it a shot in your backyard. Once you get used to this after a couple days, you're not going to play without it, trust me. And don't think coming up this spring that you're going to be able to slide your hand up on the whistle during a face-off. Officials are being told to watch it very closely. So I would just recommend that you tape this baby, okay? Use the advantage it gives you and allow the officials to enjoy the fact they don't have to worry about you being a scumbag, okay? So first, fans first, how I tape my stick. Once again, this is a Tribe 7 Scepter with spider mesh and a T-scan shaft, one of the lightest shafts you'll ever find. So enjoy that, and then I look forward to your comments on here about what you think I should do for my next Fans First. I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys. See you next month.